Hey guys, this is Jon
and Austin,
and another episode of the Meatgistics podcast. Episode something. Patrick probably knows. 116. So, big news. Mark sent us the numbers the other day for the podcast, congratulating us on 250,000 downloads.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is pretty awesome. That is a significant amount of people. Now, it's probably the same people just time and time again. Yeah,
I might have wrote a program that just sits there and downloads it over and over.
Keep going. All right, before we get into anything else, we've got two steaks in front of us. These are two versions of the steak rub that I'm working on. Now, I'm used to having my side sear box with the grill grates and doing strip steaks. These are not strip steaks. They are ribeyes that we've had frozen for a while. And there's quite a bit more fat on this than I'm used to. So I took a video of what was going on the side sear box when I got back there. And it was dramatic, to say the least. I actually videotaped flaming fat dropping down. It was like, if you imagine a medieval attack on a castle, and they would put burning stuff on a catapult. This is basically what it was. All right, but let's waste no more time getting into it. We're going to eat the spinalis of it. I mean, that's not terrible.
I'm going to have to...
I would say it probably finished at like 132-ish, something like that. Okay, so...
Speaking of medieval, it looks like the Black Death up there.
It is quite dark. Did I not get you? Oh, here's your fork.
I'm going to have to blur that out on the thumbnail. Put like a censored bar on.
It's gross, Jon.
I know that's not possible. First of all, char marks on steak are good. Second of all, I cook the steak. And third of all, I mean, even with the flare-ups, that is still pretty darn good cook.
Oh, it's my favorite when you guys eat. It's not for me.
Yeah, I know.
It's
I'm
good.
Sure people hate it.
We should have cooked one control steak.
Why?
Just to we're comparing like two versions of your deal,
It's
right?
a fair point.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to do this again with strip steaks.
Okay.
Because, I mean, the amount of flame that came up on here probably cooked like off a decent portion of the seasoning by itself. Like flames were going quite high. Luckily, I had that oversized one from Louisiana Grill, so I didn't burn myself.
So what are we tasting? What's good? What's bad?
I mean, there's nothing bad.
Okay.
So which is your original? Because this definitely has a different flavor to it.
This is the original.
That's the original?
This is the original, and that's the not being able to use that one ingredient. And that one ingredient is not MSG, just to be clear.
So, yeah, how far are you willing to describe to people, or is this still
about
all
that
under
far?
wraps?
About that far. Yeah, I don't want to give too much of it away. I don't want to say I want to go back to the drawing board, but in my mind, the difference in taste, and you would also see a difference in color had it not had such dramatic cooking, I guess we can say, is significant enough to the point where I'm not happy with our current replacement for that. And in the end, I don't know that there will be anything that replaces it 100%.
So I got to keep taking bites because I'm getting a very weird flavor note over here.
From that one specifically.
Oh, yeah, it's there. It's not just one bite.
Well, what is it?
You think it's weird?
Took too big of a bite. Okay, you're going to call me crazy, but it tastes like the golden brown to verge of getting burnt part of a s'mores.
Oh.
Like the marshmallow. It has...
It's just the charring effect? Man.
Yeah. That like sweetness to the charring, it has that flavor to it to me.
Because it probably caramelized
or
whatever was right
I can see what you're talking about. That probably is the insane furnace of the amount of
Is that so? So that's not supposed to be there.
I mean, it's not due to the seasoning. I'll say that. Like, there's no sugar in the seasoning. There's nothing that would really caramelize up. Shouldn't.
Did you cook something on there last time that had a sweet note to it? Maybe.
No, not that I can think of. Certainly not on the side sear box.
Oh wait, we made s'mores this last weekend. What are we talking about? We just didn't tell you. Oh man.
Oh, we did that.
Secrets out.
So, do you have a preference? Because you have eaten a lot of the s'mores one.
Yes, I need to go back to the other one. I don't know. Knowing what's in the other one, it partially just puts something in my mind that I'm like,
that you don't like.
I don't know.
Okay.
But it's not. I might say that the first one, your original one, is maybe better.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is. And it's not like cricket powder or anything like that. It is way more disgusting than that. So don't think that it's just cricket powder that we're trying to replace. So yeah, okay. I will continue looking for a replacement, and I will sacrifice for everybody by continuing to eat a ridiculous amount of steaks until my quarter gets
Well, did you learn anything from this batch?
Yeah. If I'm going to cook another one here, I need to bring my grill grates from home.
Yeah, just for consistency.
Getting it up enough away from the flame. And there's just so much more fat on a ribeye. Now, as far as like flavorful goes, yes, that is more flavorful than a strip steak, for sure. So I guess I take back what I said about liking strip steaks better, because that is just chock full of taste. So next time when you're saying a control steak, is that with no seasoning or is that with Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub?
Yeah.
To be honest, I would be tempted to say both.
So we do 4 steaks.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Because, yeah, it'd be interesting because I can't divulge too much. I need to have like the flavor of just a steak, nothing else to it. One could maybe argue that you should just use like salt and pepper on it.
Sure. Yeah, that would make sense.
Just to enhance the flavor, because everyone's going to put salt and pepper on a steak.
Have you ever cooked a steak with nothing?
No.
No, neither have I. Patrick?
No.
But maybe this needs to turn into a larger experiment.
Yeah.
Somehow you can't know what they are, though. Neither of us can know what they are.
The problem is that only leaves Patrick
Nice.
with the one figuring out who's what, and I can guarantee you things are going to get switched around.
Can you cook them, plate them?
Yes. And not know which one is which?
Not know which one's which.
For sure.
You might be able to tell by looking at some of them. So can we cut up some of it?
So here's what I was going to say. For that, because
Just blindfold
if
yourself.
they're not as charred on the outside as this, I would be able to tell by appearance, but we can blindfold me for like the actual taste test portion.
Yeah.
That
Just
would work.
Yeah.
I am enjoying how much you're eating of that steak. It does my heart good to see that you're...
I normally eat like snacks through the day. Something.
No snacks today?
I keep cheese and lunch meat in my fridge and my famous
Vienna sausages, of course.
But I haven't ate anything, so I'm just starving.
Would you ever eat sorry to interrupt, would you ever eat a cold hot dog just by itself?
Oh yeah.
Is that not the same?
It is
I was
the
trying
same.
to get him to go like, oh no, that's
gross.
disgusting.
Yeah, same
No,
thing.
it's basically just bologna. I keep bologna in my fridge. It's just a different form factor, but
Logged bologna. I love it.
yeah.
Okay.
I might actually be really into it.
Well, you guys, we cut it out, but Austin leaned over to me and said, that's the best steak I've ever had. So
I didn't.
just so that you guys all know that happened outside
And then
of regular podcasting.
It could be.
hours.
Like I say, it could be. You could be there, but it's the weird charring and the
Yeah.
flavor that brings that is just throwing me off.
I don't know. Yeah. Here's a piece of steak seasoning A. There's a piece of steak seasoning B. That's pretty good palate ability of yours to pick that up.
What does that mean?
Like, to pick that up.
Oh,
And you described it fairly well with the just pre-charred golden brown s'more.
I was blessed with a much better ability to taste than I was given to smell. I needed my brother's nose today.
You got
Had
the
something
other
came
one?
up, and I was like, I don't know. It was his kind of area, anyways. And I'm like, Dylan, go check this out. Smell this. See what you think. But I can't smell for anything, but I can taste fairly well.
No.
But
Dylan says he can't describe tastes well. And he can't like tell you, oh, that has like
He just
whatever.
has it logged in his head.
Yeah, but his nose is ridiculous. He's got a bloodhound somewhere back in the family.
Yeah, I liked A better. Is that what we were saying?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. A's got the better overall taste, which is also good because I didn't like the texture of the seasoning with B. Now, another thing that I didn't like that I did with these is I actually took all the ingredients and I put it in a really high-powered blender and I just basically pulverized it. And I didn't like what that did to it. So I've got more work. Well, I assume eventually I'll get to a point where I just let Excalibur play with the seasoning particle size and stuff, right? They would probably know better.
yeah,
Okay. All right. So I'll find a replacement for that. We'll make sure that it's acceptable. And then we'll send it on. I wonder if Excalibur would even be willing to bring that in if we did decide that's what we wanted.
I don't know why not.
Yeah.
It's a food. It's still a food.
Still a food
product.
item. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like we're putting gasoline in it.
Are you telling me to put gasoline in?
No.
Oh, okay. I was
No.
unsure. I wasn't quite sure there. Okay. All right. All right. Couple other things. We've reshot all of the B-roll for just straight how to make jerky, not how to make tender jerky, anything like that. It's just regular jerky. We're doing it 3 ways. We used a bunch of different slicing equipment. We used a slicer. We used the tenderizer with the jerky slicing blade inset. Then we also use just a regular knife, and we use that old Victorinox thing with the knife. It's a
precise slice.
It's a good idea. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like it always tails off no matter what you do. While I was slicing, so I put the meat in the freezer, but apparently not long enough because it was just not frozen as I was going to slice it. You know how you always tail? You always get a tail on fresh meat.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, as you're pushing the meat along across the blade of an actual slicer, like a meat slicer, towards the back end, the back portion of the meat will push back and it won't cut all the way to the end. It'll kind of just tail off. I was turning it every 2 or 3 passes, and that really helped with that. So that was a good and easy tip.
Cool.
And then we did some in the smoker. We did some all the way in the oven. And then we did some in the oven, took it out and finished it in a dehydrator. Oven took the longest. But what came out of the oven, I actually preferred over what we went oven dehydrator on.
Did you do the prop door method on the oven?
So this is a convection oven.
Oh.
So it's keeping the air going all the time. But I did do that just to see it, see what would happen. And I'm fairly convinced the oven just gave up. Because I came in here at one point and there was just no heat coming out of the oven. It just said door, door, door. So I think it's just no, I'm not doing this.
Okay.
So, but a non-high-tech oven, yeah, propping the door is the way to go. It'll allow airflow and it allows moisture to escape. So that's how you would want to do that.
Cool.
Couple other just little things. Next week, I'm going to be in Minnesota. Get there Monday, go fishing Monday night. Tuesday, do some fishing, and then fly back Wednesday. Either Thursday or Friday, I'm going to be on the Birds, Booze, and Buds podcast with Tyler Webster. We're doing some sponsorship stuff with him. So if you follow him on social media, you'll start seeing some Walton's equipment stuff come through from him. But obviously the big news there is Trophy Muskie on its way. It says anything over 50 inches is a Trophy Muskie.
I don't think the rest of us share the same level of confidence that you have. I've seen your fishing ability, and you have never beat me.
That is annoying. That is annoying.
Even when we fished in your own pond.
Yeah, well, that pond it's actually better now.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Did I send you pictures from the other day? I feel like I sent you one, maybe.
I don't remember. I know you talked about it because you said you were at the pond and then you like switched and hopped to another pond.
Yeah. So between the two of us, we probably caught like 15, 20 fish, somewhere in that range. So yeah, they were biting again, which is good to see. We also took some of the big fish that we caught from the other pond. Well, because no. When we first moved in there was a young kid who lived on that. A young kid, he was in his 20s, who bought the biggest house in the neighborhood because he did hail damage repair. He took the business over from his father. And when they did that, they went mobile with it. So they'd go storm chasing, basically, show up in a town a couple of days after a hail thing and say, hey, we can come to your house and repair it there. So he just made tons of money. Anyways, so he and I would always talk, and he'd complain and be like, yeah, I catch a lot of fish, but just not big ones. And I'm like, well, I've got big ones in here. I'm like, feel free. Because it is good to let, get some of your bigger fish out of your pond, let other ones grow. But I think he overdid it to the point where I eventually had to talk with him. I'm like, hey, don't steal any more fish. I'm not catching as many big fish in here anymore. But so I was just claiming them back. Coming back. But yeah, so one other thing I found pretty cool, cleaning the jerky slicer and the tenderizer blades has always been an annoyance to me. One of the better tips I'd seen was to use like a dust broom, like the little handheld one. Do that, and that works. But the smallest of the stuffer cleaning tubes works incredibly. I mean, absolutely amazing. You just push it through there, run it through with some hot water going through. It gets them perfect.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was super excited about that. So I thought I would share.
So other thing, when you were saying you're going to be gone next week, bad news. You're gone Wednesday. No podcast. I'm gone the following Wednesday. So no podcast. So I may have to do a solo podcast just to keep us on schedule. We could always do
one on Thursday morning.
Were you back Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe. We'd have to do it 2 Thursdays in a row. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of doing a podcast without you.
So go ahead.
I don't think it would be very good.
Have fun. Go ahead.
Probably would.
The only podcast we've ever thrown out was one I tried to do just by myself.
Really?
Yeah. It was when we were a week ahead. So like we record on Wednesday and it wouldn't be released till the following Friday. And I remember calling Patrick on the weekend after thinking about what I said. I'm like, just throw that out. I'm like, delete that. Let's never. It was like maudlin. It was almost sad. So no good.
Yeah, I think I do have a problem.
What's up?
I think it was next week I was supposed to have somebody come in and for the podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna have to talk when we're done. We'll figure out how we're gonna do it. But
okay. So I have a stop on the way home, but I leave there at like 6:30. So it's 6:30.
Are you driving or flying?
Flying.
Okay.
6:30 from Minneapolis to DFW. I land there at 9:30, and then I have an hour. Like, yeah, I could easily make it in for the podcast. Like, I'll be home probably around before noon.
Okay.
So I could pop in. Just pop in, do a podcast, and go back home. That sounds like a pretty good life.
Is this like just the new work schedule?
Oh, just
I'm in.
Flying all around the country, fishing, and then doing a podcast. All right. We've got another new processing plant. New is in kind of quotations because this one's been open just about a year now. It's Hatch Creek Butchery in Plains, Kansas. From their website, it says, we're Hatch Creek Butchery, and we're a local butcher shop here in Plains, Kansas. We believe in quality cuts and excellent service, offering brisket, sirloin, ribs, shanks, and more. Now, they do custom beef. They do quarters, wholes, and half beef shares. They offer on-site dry aging. Everything is vac sealed. Their testimonials were phenomenal. Like, really, really well done. So that is Hatch Creek Butchery in Plains, Kansas. If you're out there and you're looking for a place to buy some beef or get some custom cuts, go there. They are also opening or have already opened a retail shop based on their social media. I'm assuming their retail shop is already opened, but if you're in the area, check them out. Hatch Creek Butchery. All right, on to Meat Matters.
Yep.
Okay, before we even get there, at the very top of this, you will see I listed out. So I'll go to Bing or Google or whatever. I'll go to the news section and I'll type in meat and I'll just start reading through it. On Bing, 6 out of the 10 meat, just the word meat, news articles were about not meat. So fake, plant-based, or cultured meat.
So meat related, technically, but not meat.
Not meat. Google was worse at 7 out of 10. DuckDuckGo, 2 out of 10. So whatever this insane push is for fake, cultured, or whatever meat, DuckDuckGo is how you can avoid all of that. Patrick laughs because he hates everything that's not Google.
Well, I just feel like if you type in New York Yankees and you only Boston Red Sox come up, it's just like, that's a bad search engine. What the hell are we talking about here? Every time I've tried to Bing anything, it doesn't even work as a good verb either.
Patrick did show me who was the player?
I think we talked about this last week.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was Anderson Varejao.
Yeah, different results. Bing said no, he hasn't. Google said yes, he has.
I think it almost proves something bigger, that there are parallel universes happening. There's not enough time on this podcast.
There's not enough time in this podcast. So, yeah. But all right. So to the first story, Tyson to move all corporate offices to Arkansas. So Tyson Foods announced on October 5th that the company plans to bring all of its corporate employees under one location at its world headquarters in Springdale, Arkansas. Currently, the meat producer has corporate locations in Chicago, Downers Grove, Illinois, and Dakota Dunes, South Dakota, for various parts of the business. And all I have to say to that is, man, I wish I had purchased some property in Springdale, Arkansas, because housing prices are about to go through the roof there.
Yeah. That would just suck to have to be a part of a big company like that and just be told, you want a job? All of you people in all these cities, you're moving to Springdale, Arkansas.
They'll pay to relocate them, though.
Yeah, but still, you have to uproot everything. I'm also I have no interest in going to live somewhere else.
There are other areas of the country are cool.
No, it would absolutely crush me. I wouldn't survive.
You wouldn't
a move
survive?
Like that. No, I wouldn't.
To Arkansas. We're not talking about moving to New York City or LA.
It's Northwest Arkansas too. So
it's the same thing as here.
I have a hard enough time traveling to the west side of Wichita, let alone to another city.
So you are a true homebody.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I often think of myself as one, but I've lived all over the country. So maybe I'm not. I have no problems moving. Now, I don't want to move now. I think I told you this at some point. My wife has switched jobs since we've been here. And when she was getting ready to leave, we had the conversation okay, find something in Wichita or close by, because I'm not moving, Yeah. We came here for your job. We're staying now because of mine. So
yeah,
what can you do?
I don't know. That's what travel's for, though. If you want to go somewhere, just travel. But so I guess kind of the story, what made Tyson
decide to do it?
Springdale, Arkansas.
That's where their headquarters already are.
Yeah, but why is it there anyways? What makes that a big draw? Any idea?
No, it's probably just where the company was when it started.
Springdale, I looked it up. It's not that this answers your question, but it shows 4th largest city in Arkansas, and it's already a huge industrial kind of town, a foundation, a bedrock, foundational for that region.
So yeah, probably where it was. I assume they're doing it for cost saving. They're going to close those other locations. They won't need it. All these businesses are going to go through cycles like that. General Electric, for years and years and years and years, they had huge portions of their headquarters empty while they were renting out buildings in other areas of the state. It's well, how stupid is that? But neither here nor there.
70,000 people in the 2010 census. Pretty small little city.
Very small. That's the 4th largest city in Arkansas?
I think that's what it said.
The only thing I know about Arkansas is they have a diamond place where you can go and dig for diamonds. That's literally it.
The natural state.
So 2020 census, 85,000. Tyson Foods at the time had 4,300 employees there. They're the biggest employer. George's, whatever George's is number 2. You ever heard of George's?
No.
Okay.
Kind of feel like I have, actually.
Cargill is there with 1,200. So there must be something. meat related going on there.
Or it could just be a rail intersection.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, it could be that. That's what started Kansas City. So,
yeah.
Really could be that. But could be interesting. It's, anytime one of the big four does something, it can send shockwaves. So, we'll see what happens with that.
Don't make my chicken prices go up anymore. Don't do it.
Did I tell you I bought? So, this is how weird my relationship with my wife is. I was looking for presents for her. She had her birthday somewhat recently, and I got her a few things. But I also bought her 80 pounds of chicken.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So we have, our Cisco thing. And so I was watching the price of chicken keep going. Never comes below $2.99 anymore at all. So I looked on there. I could get 40 pounds for like $2.40 something, or I get 80 pounds for $2.20 something. So I was like, I'll just buy 80 pounds. And then she was at work late one night and I came in here and, for anyone who's never bought chicken breast from like a Cisco or a Cargill, they come together, right? And they have like the rib meat and she doesn't like all the fat on it. So I sliced all that off and then they're super thick. So I sliced them all in half lengthwise and then vacuum packaged them for her. Freaking pretty awesome husband, to be honest.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
Go ahead. So speaking of prices, I was looking at pork prices. Pork butts are down to like $1.60 a pound.
Yep.
That made me happy because I want to say when we bought pork butts for Bratfest, it was like $2.40 a pound.
Yeah, something like that.
They've come down a substantial amount in the last couple months here, but still, that's enough lower than chicken. I'm gonna have to keep my diet.
Yeah, I can't get
more heavy on pork than chicken.
Can't get my wife to try. She'll eat beef now. I mean, almost any cut of steak I make, she'll at least have some of. But no, pork is, for whatever reason, she's not into it. I even explained, I'm like, no. You realize a pork tenderloin has less fat in it than a chicken breast. She doesn't care. So can't win them all. All right. So technological characteristics of pre and post rigor deboned beef mixtures from Holstein steers and quality attributes of cooked beef sausage. This is from nih.gov and fairly mind-numbing to try and read, but basically, so for those who don't know, pre-rigor, rigor is rigor mortis. So 90-something% of all the meat you eat has gone through rigor mortis. So it's hung, it's allowed to go through that process. But some places like Shemaikas, do they still do it?
I don't know specifically.
Okay, so I don't want to say, but there is a place in Kansas City that used to do at least pre-rigor. So pre-rigor processing requires a different formulation for your seasonings. I believe it has to have a higher salt content and a few other things. So there are, advantages, disadvantages to doing it. But the interesting part of this is the pH was greater in pre-rigor. However, this did not result in any change in post-cooking lost percentage. Generally, we think of pH, and especially a higher pH, as giving you more yield, a more finished product. That's why we add cold phosphate to things. We are increasing the pH of the meat, which is going to increase the water holding capacity of the meat by creating more negatively charged ions. So the water is just going to hold to it much better. But in their experiments, they found that there was no change in loss percentage in finished cooking. It also had no effect on color, taste, or texture. Chewiness and saltiness were minimally higher in post-rigor. Protein solubility was higher in pre-rigor. But again, since cooking losses were the same, I don't even think that matters.
Yeah. Because I mean, one of the big things in doing the pre-rigor is basically keeping more water in it, more yield in your product. So if it doesn't
do it, why?
But they may not care though for the people that are going to do that because they're selling a fresh product.
Yeah.
And so then they get to sell more to it.
And they don't have to have the space to hold. It's just kill it and start processing.
Yeah.
So that is an advantage as well.
If there was something that was like used more in the beef industry, that would be like a pretty crazy change because
you couldn't do it.
Why not?
So it's, I could be wrong here, but after you process it, if you just cut it into like ribeyes and vacuum seal it, isn't that still going to go through the process of rigor? I mean, there's not a way to stop it. They're making like finished product out of this. They're not like cryovacuum stuff. Yeah, we got to tread carefully here because neither one of us know. Obviously, we'll talk to Brett and Dylan, and we'll report back on what would happen there. You know how we've been talking about having a farmer on. Mm-hmm. Your father possibly offered a family member of yours. Okay, he talked to you about it. Okay,
yep,
cool. So we might be getting a farmer on so we can talk about some of the things we always say. We should have a farmer on for this. So that'll be good.
So I walked in and I heard cryogenically.
You're like a child who wanders into a movie theater.
Walter, you're like a child. And so it's just like so like Walt Disney, he's frozen, right? Or whatever.
Seriously?
Well, is it like his head or brain or something like that's frozen?
Yeah, do you not know that?
Maybe. Well, if not him, there's definitely other famous people.
Ted Williams.
Ted Williams, that's the guy that's like confirmed. Well, the huge controversy with his family and stuff like that. But I'm sitting here thinking like, are they vac bagged?
No. So they're cryogenically frozen. So
way different freeze process.
So think about when we talk about freezing something, we want it to get as cold as possible, as quick as possible, and stay at that temperature, right? The reason we're doing that is because freezing expands water, right? That's what allows ice to stay on top because it freezes and pushes out, okay? When it's in your cells and freezes, it will rupture cells. That's why frozen meat that's previously been frozen is never going to be quite as good. I mean, it would be good, but never quite as good. So with cryogenic freezing, what they're trying to do is replace like the liquid in your body that will expand with something that won't expand and then get it super, super cold. But you're basically like in a tank.
So are they actually replacing the liquid inside of you with something else? Yeah. Okay. Oof. Good luck with that, guys. Let me know.
Yeah, you're never coming back from that. I mean, the whole thing is
such a fad.
Nonsense.
Yeah, it's a death
complete
fad.
Nonsense. Right? Now, if we could get the greatest natural hitter of all time back, I might start watching baseball again.
What are you talking about? Pete Rose is still alive.
Oh, no. Ted Williams, sir. Ted Williams.
Oh, like either of us were alive to watch it.
Baseball annoys me at times. I was trying to watch football the other day, and they're interrupting football to show the
Aaron Judge,
the guy that's chasing the American League home run record. We're getting sidetracked. I'm of the personal belief that I don't care about American National. It's like who's got the record overall, and Barry Bonds. I don't care if he did roids, if he did whatever. He's the king.
Yeah.
And people refuse to recognize it, but they leave it in the record books. And I'm like, I don't care about this, especially when I'm trying to watch my football game.
Especially then.
I'm getting angry.
No. Especially never interrupt a football game for anything. Did they learn nothing from the Heidi game?
Yeah.
Does anyone get that? Do you get that reference?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They cut to Heidi.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I mean, let's not act like the pitchers weren't juiced up too. It wasn't, Roger Clemens was out there throwing. He's doing all.
And then foreign substances and stuff.
Sure.
And then,
that was like baseball's Wild West days where it was just like, cream and clear. Yeah, that sounds fine. Go ahead and do it. All right. Sorry. Back on point. Cooking meat, is it done? This is an article from the USDA. A meal preparation study from the U.S. Department of Agriculture's USDA Food Safety Inspection Service, FSIS, revealed that only 55% of people use a food thermometer to verify that their food is safe to consume, despite 88% of participants reporting that they own a thermometer. Instead, participants in the study relied on visual cues such as color, firmness, and time. But the visual cues are not enough to prevent foodborne illness. So yes, but in the same article, they destroy all their credibility by saying you have to cook beef to 145 degrees. Just no. I'm not doing that. I will never do that. And you're wrong for stating it.
I mean, to guarantee the food safety of it, yes.
No.
Yeah.
You're one of these looks people.
It's not true. You have to get the outside of it hot enough to kill everything. You could hit it with a flame torch, kill everything on the outside, go ahead, cut right into it. You're fine. As long as you get the outside of the food hot enough, outside of the whole muscle cut hot enough, you're fine. And you don't even have to cook it at all, as I've proven.
Yeah. I mean, it still requires some assumptions to be made that it was handled and treated and cared for in the 100% correct process. If you have a whole muscle cut of meat and you had anything that was shoved or poked through it, it was run through a tenderizer for one, or if even someone just stabbed a knife through it and now there's something outside that's inside. I mean, most things shouldn't be that way, but you're assuming that everything was handled exactly perfectly the way it was supposed to.
Fair point.
And so I think that's why you look at it that way. Now, will I still cook everything to 145? No. I'm gonna cook a steak to like 130, 135 on if I'm doing like a reverse sear, and then I'm gonna sear it and it goes up. I may get to 145. I cook my steak more than you do, but
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I blacked out there. What happens? You're 130 and then you go to sear it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
My final temp is going to end up like 140, 145, somewhere in there.
I'm like a 108 guy. I don't know. 113? What do you...
Why? Because it's better that way.
It's not.
Yeah, it is.
What's your final cook you're looking for?
He wants 141, 145.
Which is going to yield a what?
Medium? Medium well?
No, not medium well.
Well,
medium,
isn't it going to dwell for another 8 degrees?
So it's 5-ish, depending on thickness.
Medium well's in the 150s.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like rare is 120. Medium rare would be like 130. Medium well is going to be like 140.
I wonder if that's regional, because I've ordered rare steaks in New York and had them like blue. Which it's not my favorite, but I wasn't going to send it back. I'm like, hey, all right.
Have you ever noticed the lighting in the restaurant matters on what you assume the steak to look like?
Okay.
I'll dive into it. So like when I'm at a restaurant, cut into a steak, sometimes it even looks a touch more rare, because we'd have this problem where my mom, who, my parents, we talked before this, they're more of a well done crowd, but they're old and from Arkansas. We'll give them that one. But she'll be, that's this. And I go, hold on. And I'll like run outside. I forget where we were at. This was probably years ago, maybe even back at our own house. And I go, look at that. I go, it's a lot more done than you're giving it credit for.
Okay.
It's just, so lighting matters sometimes on
it's
the cut of a steak.
Interesting take. While it's still fresh in my mind, I need you to tell me again, whoever the person was who won your favorite comment of the live stream.
I don't know his name.
Do you remember his username?
No.
Yeah.
I can look back. So
We'll
I feel
find
like
it.
if it helps you, I feel like there's a G in it, maybe.
Everything else has been sent out, but that one.
Well, we'll definitely figure that out.
All right. He's been reading as we've been talking.
So according to a place called Steak University, so they have to know what they're talking about. From mychicagosteak.com, a blue steak gets cooked to about 108 degrees. A rare steak is 115 to 120.
Okay.
Medium rare is 125. Medium's 135. Medium well, like 155. Oh, I don't know. I don't get the jump there, but it talks about like 155, but also talks about 145. But it says the temperature gets to 155. I think they get to 155 and serve it at like 145.
Let it cool down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then well done 155 and above. But yeah, my opinion, medium is that 135 to 145.
Do you hold your steaks?
No.
You eat them right off the grill?
Yeah.
Can I talk you out of that at least?
Why?
Because it does actually need time to reabsorb the juice. Like the juice will reabsorb into the actual meat and give you that juiciness. Otherwise, when you cut into it, like a lot of the juice will leak right out of it. So if you let it sit for like 5 minutes, it'll actually reabsorb that juice and stay.
I'll try it.
Okay.
But also that juice is really good for your mashed potatoes on the side.
Disgusting.
Nice.
I feel very personally attacked by that.
or like a biscuit or a roll or
Yes.
something.
If you have some bread, that's excellent. Some good Italian bread. I love that. Okay. So I just found that interesting.
I don't remember what we started on there.
Cooking temperatures to
Yeah.
they're done. Okay. Arkansas is dominating this podcast today. Meat inspection program earns federal approval. So we're not going to go into this much at all, but this is the same thing that Oregon was doing. Do you remember we talked about that? You had to explain to me like, no, this is just for in-state sales.
Mhm.
And you said that it was going to be like, this probably has a chance of spreading. So here's another state already doing it. It's the same thing. It's to increase speed of which they can prepare meat for sales within the state.
Yeah, but they can't go.
They can't go out of state.
Yeah, can't go out of state.
Right. But it's the exact same thing with Oregon. So interesting, that you were right, that it was going to go to more states. And I mean, I don't really know what I think of Arkansas. I think mostly of hillbillies. Is there a lot of meat down there?
I don't know. I mean, if
Patrick?
Cargill and Tyson both have a decent presence, there's got to be a lot of meat.
What's it? What in Arkansas?
Yeah.
I've only gone a handful of times.
Yeah. Okay. Useless to us. There's a new biltong place in Minnesota called like Zambezi biltong. It's again, we're not going to go into it deeply, but I did order some of their product, and we'll have it in here to try because I like biltong. I'm interested in the entire thing. I eventually want to make it. What I think I like about it more is they dry age the whole muscle and then slice it up. I just find that really interesting. And obviously it is a more like old school traditional way to do it. So yeah, we're going to have some in here. And these are like people from Zimbabwe who came over, didn't like the fact that they couldn't get.
Somebody calls, you got to answer it live on air.
I'll call Dylan back.
Oh, it was just him.
Yeah.
That's no fun.
You want me to call him back?
No.
Oh, okay. And like got together and started making it and just like giving it to each other. Then they started selling it around their neighborhood. And then they're like, hey, wait, we have an actual business here, and opened their own like legitimate business doing it. I thought that was a pretty cool little thing.
It says an interesting stat in here. It talks about the total meat snacks market, which one you have always given me crap for calling it meat snacks.
Don't like that term.
No, that's the official term. But the meat snacks market, I say, is only $2 billion. Really? It's like, I mean, that's a large number, but still, it's not very much.
That's really not.
Mm-hmm.
That can't be right.
That's only, I think, including things that are like jerky, snack sticks, summer sausage. Basically the things that are sold in a convenience store type of deal. Not going to be anything else that you're going to get special from your local butcher type of deal. But it
says meat snacks market size 2022 estimated $10.1 billion.
No, I would trust that number.
That number seems more right.
Yeah. And
it says by 2032, it's estimated to be $21.3 billion. That seems more reasonable to me. Moving on.
Oh, I got something.
Go ahead.
I was watching one of those quick vids the other day. I don't like to say the application to give it a shout out, but guy at Walmart was looking at ground beef tubes. You get a 10-pound one for like $29, or you get the 5-pound for $11. So either some mismarking there, or just, I'm sure they'll fix that immediately. If not, then raise the price on everybody.
Or it's one is 90-10 and one is 73-27. So the more fat that's in it, the less expensive it's going to be.
I see the one he's talking about. It's $2.78 a pound and it's 73.27.
Okay.
I don't see the other one, but either way, I feel like that's cheap though.
That is not expensive. People on TikTok lie though. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
To keep that in mind.
Well, he didn't say a word, so.
He didn't say it worked?
Well, he didn't say a word. He just
filmed
it.
Just showing. Okay, yeah. So he was actually filming it.
Well, how did I watch? What did...
I don't know. I thought maybe he was talking.
He's filming his diary and I'm reading it. Yeah, gotcha. No, I don't.
Most of those
I actually
things
don't.
are.
Actually, kind of like you, we have this in common where it's like if it is a video, we probably miss the audio because we're just looking at it half the time. So, anyways.
Yeah. All right. Why Global Citizens Massive New York City Fest went meat free for the first time. I could have told you that there was not going to be any meat there as soon as you said global citizen. As soon as you said that, I've been like, yeah, so they've done it for 10 years now, and they're finally, in their words, going meat free for, I don't know, equity. I tried to read the article. It's just full of a bunch of nonsense.
What's a global
buzzwords,
citizen?
right? Nothing. It is nothing. There is no such thing. They do not give a global birth certificate, a global passport. There are none of those things.
You know what would really unify us? A whole nother Earth just popped up.
Yes.
And we'd be like, this Earth is the one that, and then we'd get all the camaraderie going, like, because we're all on the same team finally, because there's an enemy. You know?
Reagan said it. Said how did he say it? The one thing that would unite all of humanity would be aliens. He said this in like a speech to the public.
Like global.
Might have been near the end where things weren't going so well in his head, but.
So do we need to like give more money to Elon Musk so we can like colonize Mars, and then we have two competing worlds?
Hey, it could work.
AFC, NFC, man. That's where it starts, you know.
I'm home team. I'm staying. I'm not going anywhere. Not going anywhere.
I said I didn't want to leave Wichita.
Yeah, so Austin's definitely not leaving Earth.
And then we'll just merge them later. So.
All right. So less talk of recession raises optimism for meat. This is from Ag Update. Super short article. Says a weaker U.S. dollar and gain Monday and Tuesday morning could be positive for beef and pork producers, as there's less talk this week about recession, says Chris Lehner of ADM Investor Services. Strength in the stock market and a sharp break in the U.S. dollar were factors to help support the market early, along of talk of tightening supply, according to the Hightower report. So could be seeing good markets for our beef and pork producers.
Personal opinion on the matter, just because there's less talk of a recession doesn't mean that we're not in a recession, and it's all just speculative. Like, yes, we have had like multiple quarters of reduced growth and output, and so we're in a recession, but so much of it just comes down to what do people want to feel like? Are you going to wake up in the morning and put a smile on your face and have a good day? Or are you going to wake up in the morning and just have the woe is me attitude?
Yep.
And I think that affects a lot of things out there, that it's just people have a bad attitude about things. And when you have a bad attitude about it, bad things happen. Stay positive, people. Stay positive.
Yeah. I mean, that is fairly true. I'm definitely a spiraler. Like something bad, I'll have to just focus on the bad. TikTok star The Meat Guy is using his platform to promote ethically raised beef. So I even forget his name. I think it literally was just The Meat Guy, Max The Meat Guy. So it's ethically raised beef, silver fern meats out of New Zealand. That's now in the US. So their whole thing is they have zero net carbon. How did it get to the U.S.? Do you think they put it on tall ships with sails and it just floated over here?
Probably.
Probably. They must have been, right?
Really big wind sails.
Uh-huh. Had to have been.
Well, it's possible. Columbus did it.
Yeah, right? It can be done. No, I don't think any...
He went from east to west. Yeah. Can you go from west to east? I don't.
It's way harder. So, yeah, no, not net zero. Now, I am going to try and find some of this because I am interested to see what the taste is like. And the advertising for the silver fern meats, it was pretty interesting. Like one of them was him just literally calling a farmer who raises cows for him and like asking about the cows, like how they're treated, what they're fed, all that. So it's pretty interesting marketing. But yeah, no, sorry. If you're coming from New Zealand to the US market, you are not zero carbon emissions. Hate to break it to you. All right. I'm trying to decide how I want to attack this.
Yeah, you like went quiet and you're just staring at me. Yeah. You got me concerned.
No. There's no reason to be concerned. It's just when I wrote this, I was very annoyed and feeling very ranty, but I'm in a much better mood now. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to try and get back to that place of rage.
You remember the words I spoke like 2 minutes ago about stay positive?
I don't remember.
And you were talking about you spiraling.
Yeah, no,
you were definitely in a spiral moment there, but you should probably stay positive.
Doesn't sound familiar. I don't think we've talked about this before. Plant-based meat could be facing some big challenges. This is from Tasting Table. So first, before we get to that, JBS is closing Planterra, which is their plant-based meat company. And Kellogg is looking to sell Morningstar Farms. Now you'll see there's a little note over here. I've eaten Morningstar Farms Grillers Crumbles because my wife likes them for like a long time. She also likes their fake bacon, which legitimately has the texture of cardboard. I don't know how she eats it.
I was like, this sounds like a ad for Morningstar.
It's ridiculous. It has the texture of cardboard. But Morningstar Farms, I never really thought about that name at all, but what else is Morningstar? No? No.
I got nothing.
Lucifer?
Oh, dude.
The Morningstar?
As soon as
Seriously?
yeah, it's a lyric and some songs I listen to. It's metal music based, guys. It's not.
Oh, you learned that reading the Bible? No, metal music.
No. It's the band Ghost.
So I never really thought of that before. Obviously, it means nothing, but it's just interesting. All right. So from this article,
I thought you were going to say the KU player Brady Morningstar, his last name, but
no. First line, there's no question that plant-based meat is sustainable and better for the environment than traditional animal-sourced meat. Yes, there definitely is questions to both of those statements. You cannot just come out and declare things and have them be true. I have a article from the New York Times stating that they're not sure it's better for the environment. From this article, and again from the New York Times, it's plant-based food companies face critics, environmental advocates. One investor tracking firm gives Beyond Meat a 0 when it comes to sustainability measures. Another rates it as a severe risk, putting it on par with beef and pork producing giants like JBS and Tyson. We don't feel we have sufficient information to say Beyond Meat is fundamentally different from JBS, said Roxana Dobre, a manager of consumer goods research at Sustainalytics, a firm that rates the sustainability of companies based on their environmental, social, and corporate governance impact. First of all, why is social in there? What are you doing? Like the whole GSE or whatever it's called, right? GSE score. It's that's what it is. Sustainable, social, GSE. No, I don't know what the E is. Like a lot of these big companies have these ratings, like GSE ratings, and it rates like how they affect social issues. Take all of these businesses out of all of this. Yeah. It's nonsense. I don't care about Kraft Foods' stance on anything, whether it's the same stance I have or the opposing one. I don't care. I don't want them to have an opinion on that. I want them to make delicious mac and cheese. That's it.
Yeah, they could make a few other food products well too, besides just mac and cheese.
But what I want them to do is make good food products, not tell me about how they feel about the Amazon. Like that is not their job. I hate when they do that. Corporations as people is one of the worst things we've done in, I don't even know how long, probably since the Department of Education was formed.
It's one of those things that it can have some good, it can also have some bad.
No.
And we just see a lot of the bad.
It can't have good because for it to be good to you, it's bad to somebody else. So it's a net negative to somebody no matter what. All right. If they came out and supported one of your not pet is the wrong word, something that was important to you, it's just going to anger somebody who's on the other side of that issue. If they just shut up about it, not talk about it, we're fine.
Yeah, I think some of it depends on how it's demonstrated by the company, though. Some of it is the company can still do things, and it doesn't necessarily have a negative effect on somebody else. But when they push it the way that they do, then it does.
Explain, like, give me an example of what you think they could do where it's not gonna. Like, are you talking about like how we support passing on outdoor mentors.
I mean, sure, that's a good
That's
example.
totally different though.
Like,
Because we're not coming out and making a statement about that. We're just trying to help them.
yeah, by what we do with outdoor mentors, like we are taking a stance saying more kids should get outdoors, go hunting, enjoy things in nature. Like we're not taking the opposite stance by any means and saying kids shouldn't be outside and shouldn't go hunting. Like it is we're doing it differently. We're not like when we support outdoor mentors, we are saying kids should get outside and go hunting. Someone out there doesn't like it, but we're not going about telling people like you and your kid need to go outside and go hunting. We do it in a way that is supportive of them, and we are taking a stance and we're helping someone, but we're not forcing other people or pushing that on them. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't like hunting and they don't like that we support outdoor mentors. But if they take offense to it, that's on them. We're not actually causing them harm. If they feel like they are, you can't change what somebody's feelings are. But there's no actual harm being done. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you broke my brain. I think you broke my brain there, yeah. Because I was even going to say, well, all right, you're never going to see us come out like on social media, and not that anyone's for fur nowadays, but like, you know, push back against something that PETA does and be like, no, fur is good. But like, you could easily infer through a bunch of things that we've posted that like, that's the side we're on. All right. Well, now I don't want to talk about any more of this article.
I think at the end of the day, it's okay for corporations to take a stance on something. It's just how they demonstrate that to other people. You can do it in an offensive way, and you can do it in a way that is just, I don't even know what to say. Just chill. There's probably a better word. But.
Yeah, well, because we don't come out and do a press release saying, hey, we are now, you know, supporting outdoor. We just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We don't do it for the glory. We don't do it for
I do.
The recognition.
Oh, I do that too.
Oh, I don't. Half the time when I like give and donate to different organizations, I don't tell anyone, do anything. I don't want anything there. Like right. I would be content if we did stuff for outdoor mentors and we didn't get recognized at all through it, because it's not about that recognition. It's about just being helpful, doing something for someone else, and
trying to win a gun.
Okay,
that's part, obvious.
That's the fun part to it. But yeah,
that is the majority of my spending to these organizations is trying to win a gun.
I gotta film myself next time I give a homeless guy money, you know. I just keep forgetting all the other times. No, one time I was like, I just got paid, great mood. I was like, oh man, looks super hot day. Guy on a bike in front of a Quick Trip trying to find shade. And I was like, I got this extra 20. You know how you have cash? It's like, this is as good as spent as soon as it's off my card. So I was like, you know what? He might be able to use it. He didn't even see me give it to him. And then he was kind of just looking around. And I go, oh, that guy's high on methamphetamine. So I just, but I didn't want to go back and then take a $20 bill. And I was like, oh man. So he might have actually saw it, but to my perception, he was kind of spaced out.
No acknowledgement. All right, but there are some other things other than just the ranting about corporations and messaging. By some estimates, the agricultural industry produces a third of the world's greenhouse gases linked to human activity. It's a primary driver of deforestation and uses as much as 70% of the world's fresh water supply. So this is talking about how the number one ingredient in almost all of these is soy, and growing soybeans is fairly water intensive. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's fairly water intensive. So, I mean, talking about it being sustainable, that's not necessarily true.
I wonder, I don't know. I wonder how some of that works, because like soybeans, I'm sure some places you have to irrigate them, but like unless it's like corn where there's like 30 different types of corn and it's not all the corn that ends up in the grocery store. Right. Type of deal. But like there's soybeans that are planted around here. I drive by several soybean fields on my way to work every day. And they're not irrigated.
No,
They
not that I can tell.
don't take any other water other than rainwater, unless that water is used when they're turned into
Process
another
or
food.
something.
Yeah.
But those fields also could be irrigated through like just not whatever you call it, turning. No. Oh, okay. But both Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods have commissioned studies by academics or third parties that compare how their plant-based burgers or sausages stack up to beef or pork products. 2008 study by researchers at the University of Michigan concluded that a quarter pounder Beyond Burger generated 90% less greenhouse gas emissions than its beef burger equivalent. So that's interesting, but the fact that Beyond Meat and Impossible commissioned the study.
Yeah.
I mean, there used to be doctors would tell you should smoke camels to pregnant women to keep the baby weight down. Like,
yeah, I would not trust that as much as I would the Roxana Dobre or whoever that was with Sustainalytics. Like someone who doesn't have skin in the game, their goal is to just provide information to consumers.
Yep.
And they said that they don't really basically see a big difference there, or they don't have sufficient information to say
be
that
able
they're
to tell
fundamentally
if it's
different.
Yep.
Yeah.
So plus also we should talk about the fact that a beef order a steak, it has one ingredient. These things have tons.
That's still, I know we've talked about that before, but it blows my mind because I feel like the same people that are in the market for plant-based meats are the same type of consumer that wants a clean label.
Yep.
And it's total opposites.
Did I tell you a couple months ago I talked to a mom of two? She have 2 kids or 3?
Did you talk to my wife?
No, about clean label because we were talking about no nitrates. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, I know it doesn't make sense. She's like, I just want it. I'm like, all right. I'm like, you're changing the industry because of this and making everything more expensive, right? But nope. Okay, real quick. And we will talk about this again on a future podcast after I've had a chance to use it. But funny story that involves a couple of people that we deal with. I get a call one day randomly from a California number. Like, I don't know anybody in California, but it said like Sam Blue on it or something. Like, that's an interesting name. So I was just like, whatever, check it out. Answer the phone call, and it's this guy who is thinking about advertising with Ron Shera. And Mark gave him my number as like, hey, you can talk to him about what we do for them. So he's got this product. It's called Ready Rest. So it is effectively a sling of really high quality material. Feel that. Mm-hmm. And then on it is a shelf of aluminum, aircraft aluminum that's powder coated for a non-slip grip.
I
right?
figured it was plastic, but
nope.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it goes up and over your shoulder and sits down by your hip. You can adjust it to any height, and it works on either hips. And you put your shotgun on it. So it's a little shelf for your shotgun, right? Awesome idea. And I 100% am adding this to my kit out. With this and my Chief Upland vest, I am going to be like set. Be looking smooth. You're not coming for the governor's hunt?
No, probably not.
Okay. All right. Well, your dad and I will look smooth then. But so we got started talking, and we were talking about return on investment for advertising. And I was talking to him about Haibu. I'm like, hey, just so you know, there's this company out here. And he's like, I've been denied every time I've tried to create a Google AdSense account because what I have to do has to deal with guns.
Yeah, he may have an issue there.
But you're not like a gun manufacturer. You're not selling guns. You're not even selling ammo. You're selling something that makes guns more safe. Like, if anything, that they should be supporting that, because you're walking around. If you have an over/under, a lot of times you'll walk around with it broken, but a lot of people won't even do that. And gun accidents happen. When we were out at the governor's hunt the last time we went, there was it was a dog that got shot, but still, I mean, it's a terrible thing. Something like this can actually help avoid that. Why they would want to prevent him from being able to advertise that on their service, I have no idea. And I even reached out to Brent to get his opinion on it, and he responded as he always does, incredibly
Super long.
but like really well
Yeah.
thought out. I think he understands me, and he's like, no, this kid needs things spelled out for, or this guy, I'm not a kid anymore, needs things spelled out for him. So he explained, he's like, yeah, because I included Sam on the email. He's like, you're gonna struggle. I've never seen it get approved. But this company is called Ready Rest. Just the word Ready Rest all in one. But it says it is, it said it somewhere. Aircraft aluminum stock with non-slip finish, fully adjustable for right or left hand, comfortable all day, ready in an instant. Super simple. Seems like a really cool product. I'm looking forward to trying it out in the field. But it's mine. It's not yours. I see you looking at it.
No, that's fine.
I see you looking at it.
And like, not to take all the thunder from it, but I think Chief Upland had something that you could do kind of a similar thing.
Oh, did they?
I thought he talked about having like a stock rest or something. That is, I would probably, my first thought would be I'd rather have that with my vest, because then the weight is not on the vest itself. But
Yeah. Now, that vest did such a good job not riding on your shoulders that it might not matter.
Yeah.
But I'd always rather have two things.
Yeah. I love that idea though, because half the time when you're out hunting, unless you're luckier than I am and you can go out and limit out in an hour or two, but normally it's an all day affair. And by the time you get to the end of the day, you're just, you're tired of carrying your gun. You can have it sit there. Because I'll try to like rest it on my hip or something. And it just doesn't do the same. That'll actually hold it in better. And
that is the only advantage to my little over under is it is super light. Incredibly light.
Yeah, but we all know you need more than 2 shots.
I need more than 2 shots. I proved that. Proved that with your sister. God, that was bad.
That sounds bad.
Oh, no. Let me explain. Allie and I were in a field hunting. One was coming like right over me, pheasant. I saw her. She was a little ways off and started drawing on it. I was like, no, I got it. 2 shots. It flew literally directly over my head. Nope. Missed him with both.
Rough.
Yeah, not good.
Saw another video recently where a guy was shooting. It looked like just in his front yard or something at a pheasant or bird of some sort, duck, whatever. And he goes, hold on, got it. And he shoots it. He goes, hold on. Comes right toward. He catches it bare hand. Yeah, dude.
Have you ever seen, who is it? I know the guy's name. I'm not going to think of it right now. Catches the dove as it's just flying by.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Just don't. But that one's not even shot. He just snagged it out of the air.
Yeah, that one was just
that's insane.
Beautifully shot too. Like I remember,
Yes.
it's so cinematic.
Yeah.
Love that.
Sometimes I feel bad. Like I haven't done that, but like you hit a bird, it like hits their wing, it drops them. They get to the ground, they're like fully alert, and you pick them up, and you're like, sorry.
You look him in the eyes and say sorry.
You either pop the head or you twist it. But,
Oh,
spin
man.
it.
I'd rather shoot him.
Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's
a bird.
It's not even real.
Oh, what's it gonna fly to space next? They're all fake.
Did it power down? Did it did it decommission? It's like Robot Chicken. It's the beginning of Robot Chicken.
All right, we got anything else?
That's all I got.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll hopefully we'll have both of us for next week.
We'll figure out something.
Cool.
That's how we're ending.
Love it. Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltons.com. To get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.